The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Paige and Paige Clark.
Well, good morning. I'm Paige Clark, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms, and I'm Nico Paige.
And it's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater, Florida, 74 degrees. And we've had a little rain that's kind of cooled things off. We like that.
Yeah, we do. I like it every afternoon, that's for sure. You can reach us here, of course, 877-927-6648.
And make sure you subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. Good stuff, twice a month, $10 a month, right into your mailbox. And pick up some of our daily nutrition supplement powered by nature's miracle molecules, fulvic and humic acid, the Primal Edge. And, Nico, I get a lot of questions sometimes about, we tell people that we believe we need to be having more healthy fats, that's really a better fuel for our body.
Yep.
And at the very least, we should be a dual fuel burner. If we're not a fat burner, at least a dual fuel burner.
Yep.
But even when we say that, sometimes it doesn't mean that we can actually utilize the fats. And we see as we get older, maybe our liver is struggling a little bit with digestion, because the liver plays a real big role in digestion. And so got me thinking, let's talk about loving our liver a little today.
Sounds good. Liver is the thing that cleanses us. That's kind of the way I see it.
Our filtration system, like our
everything
air
we
filters.
eat, everything we put into our body really goes through the liver to make us healthy.
Yeah.
That's the point of the whole thing. So if there's something wrong with us in any facet of our living, in other words, we have skin conditions, our eyes are going bad, our hearing's going bad, our skin's turning wrong color, usually the first thing that our ancient ancestors thought of was that there's something wrong with the liver.
It's very interesting, and this is in the New York Times, and this kind of spurred my interest in covering this topic today. That's an article, The Liver, a blob that runs the body. So it's not just sitting there, it's doing a lot of functions. And the Mesopotamians, to them, the liver was the body's premier organ and the seat of the human soul and emotions. And the ancient Greeks linked the liver to pleasure, so the word hepatic and hedonic are thought to share kind of the same root.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting stuff.
And the Mesopotamians were really, that's the cradle of mankind.
Yes.
That's where we think that our modern type of living came from. All of a sudden somebody started farming and said, hey, this is a great idea.
And when the liver is stressed, in traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine, we think of the emotion of anger. And we do know that many of us will repress our emotions. And what is a very dangerous emotion to repress is anger. And therefore we can see inflamed liver. But, even the Elizabethans referred to their monarch not as the head of the state, but as its liver. And woe to any people saddling with a lily-livered leader whose bloodless cowardliness would surely prove their undoing. So, we've had little phrases like, what am I, chopped liver? We've been seeing all of these kind of references to the liver.
I never kind of figured out what that meant.
Yeah, as if it's...
Well, I guess if your liver is chopped up, you're not in good shape at all.
Exactly.
But the interesting note is that the liver is one of the only organs that actually can replenish itself if it's like you cut out 3/4 of it and it actually will grow back.
That's a very cool point. It really changes its shape maybe as much as 40% on a given day. Think of it like a big air filter or...
Bladder almost. You can see it because there's a bladder for the blood in a sense. Isn't there? And I think it's made into different sections. Like 3 or 4 sections, I'm not really sure.
They say the thing is the liver's to-do list is second only to that of the brain and numbers well over 300 little items on its checklist. And this includes systematically reworking the food we eat into usable building blocks. breaking down your proteins and using the enzymes to make those amino acids that Dr. Minkoff has taught us a lot about, neutralizing the many potential toxins that we incidentally or deliberately ingest. And so it kind of generates a vast pharmacopoeia, like a pharmaceutical company of itself, of hormones, enzymes, clotting factors, and immune molecules. So it really is a very important organ. If your lungs fail, we have artificial lungs, ventilators. If you have hearts, we have mechanical hearts, but they have yet to be able to clone or reproduce the functionality of the liver.
But they can replace it.
You can have a transplant. Yeah, and that's a real tough thing,
it's
too.
It's a tough one, yeah.
Yeah. It's actually, the more they look at it, the longer the list of its talents become.
Yeah, and also you're pretty limited. Once you get that second liver, you may not live that long in many cases. But some people say that you can live a long time. There's been cases. But I remember when it first started, these transplants, you say, well, you got maybe 5 years more. Kind of like after your chemotherapy. But I think the way our system is working now, that we're getting much better at replacing these organs, and now people can live 20, 30 years longer.
Probably a better idea to take care of your organs.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to get into as we go on today is we're going to highlight one of my favorite practitioners who is a teacher of how to take care of the liver and gallbladder. And that is Andreas Moritz. We'll get into that in a moment.
Yeah,
but I don't know if a lot of people know that the liver is actually involved in the signaling that may dictate our dietary choices, like our cravings for sweets.
That's pretty interesting.
And really the hepatocytes, which are the metabolically active cells that make up 80% of the liver itself, they possess traits not seen in any other normal cells of the body.
Yes, whereas most cells have 2 sets of chromosomes and 2 sets of genetic instructions on how the cell is going to behave, these actually defy logic, and they have 8 sets of chromosomes, all without falling apart or turning cancerous. So most of the time, everything else has 2 sets, and if we get more than that, it's kind of attacked.
Yeah, this might actually be why the liver has such a regenerative prowess, they say. And we do know the liver does regenerate. So many people, we're seeing such an epidemic of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And this is really a diet-induced, the bad fats, the processed sugars and so forth, and really much of this can be cleaned out and recovered. So that's good news about it, one researcher, Valerie Gu Evans, she's a liver specialist at Mount Sinai School of Medicine. She says the liver is not a very sexy organ. It doesn't look important. It just looks like a big blob. But it is quietly vital in the controlling tower of the body. So it's time that we really learn to love our liver and understand that it is actually the largest internal organ, skin being the largest organ.
Weighing about 3.5 pounds, measuring about 6 inches long, the reddish-brown mass of 4 unevenly sized lobes sprawl like a beached sea lion across the right side of the abdominal cavity. And it's beneath the diaphragm, and it's on top of the stomach.
Yeah, it's always flushed with blood, and it holds about 13% of the body's supply at any given time. Many of the liver's unusual features are linked to its intimate association with the blood, and life is in the blood.
Yeah.
And we'll be back to talk more about how you can love your liver.
And why you need to.
And stay tuned.
We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Does your liver need an overhaul? We're going to discuss the importance of liver flush or a liver cleanse, and this is an article by Andreas Moritz.
Andreas Moritz, and he is no longer with us, and we'll talk a little bit about what happened to Andreas Moritz. Brilliant researcher, natural health educator. Truly believe he's one of the sources for great information, and we're going to talk about how we utilize and those people that try to actually help us and steer us away from some of the damaging things.
I like it because he puts it so simply and so easily in the way he talks. It says here, if you're experiencing major persistent health problems, either physical or emotional, your liver may be congested with toxic compounds that are trapped within the deposits of hardened bile.
Mm-hmm. And these are, bile or gallstones or liver stones are intrahepatic stones. And almost all health conditions, beauty problems, and premier aging are closely linked with declining liver performance, which is elusive to your blood test, guys. So when it shows up in your blood test, you've already got some stuff going on. Your liver is not happy if it's showing up with elevated enzymes and so forth. So the damage is already being done. Let's be proactive and let's learn from someone who teaches us. Yeah,
congestion in the bile ducts of the liver undermines the body's effort to make proper use of ingested food and vital energy. This in turn may lead to expressions of discomfort, including fear, anger, impatience, greed, depression, dis-ease, and cynicism.
See what I told you about the liver being the seat of emotion that's usually of a frustration. Well, it's really the gallbladder's frustration. The liver is anger. Okay. So cleansing the liver, guys, of the existing obstructions and impurities can also help release these toxic emotions, and they can help restore balance and vitality and truly happiness and make you feel well. So we have to start taking care of our liver.
Yeah, and there's no direct correlation. It's unlike with the stomach. The liver never tells you directly when it is upset or needs any special attention. It does so indirectly when you start to perform poorly. And this can be in every facet of your life, just the thinking parts. It could be something physical. It could be that you look bad.
Let's go through a list here. Okay. The following conditions, according to Andreas Moritz, would not occur if the liver were in optimal shape. Do you have skin irritations, weak eyesight, unhealthy bowel movements, irregular menstrual cycles?
No.
Regular headaches, unexplainable weight gain or loss of energy? Sudden aging, elevated cholesterol levels, most allergies, constricted blood vessels, bloated abdominal, water retention, gastrointestinal troubles, boom, boom, to boom, to boom, right?
Yeah, I mean, breathing
Brittle
difficulties, poor memory, concentration, pain in the joints or elsewhere in the body, brittle bones, like you said, major illnesses such as heart disease, cancer, MS, diabetes, or Alzheimer's, everything that everybody has.
So when you start to have symptoms, why do we want to mask these symptoms? Let's use these symptoms as a clue that we need to do a little housekeeping. We need to do a little purging. We need to do a little cleaning of our filters. Just in your house, if you couldn't breathe, you go to your air filter and you go, oh my gosh, this thing's filthy, right?
Right.
And you put a new filter in. Well, we can't take our liver out and put a new one in, or God knows we don't want to. So we need to cleanse that liver. And although we were designed to be self-cleansing organisms, I truly believe that even as far back as our ancient ancestors, the cleansing has been a ritual. These are why ancient cultures eat certain herbs, bitter herbs, and so forth.
We have rituals like the Indian population of India going to the river to cleanse.
Yes.
And we have all of these kinds of traditions that, like the forest bathing, and all these natural things that we always talk about, and we're really talking about...
We're talking about getting back to these things.
We want to.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
And the powers that be and the money changers and so forth would just as soon you not remember these things. In fact, they've put a lot of energy into burying these things and making sure that they're forgotten. We can go all the way back to the Salem witch trials. I mean, the women that were hung for practicing herbology and natural medicine. But we have this mentality that, oh, they were doing something bad. No, they were trying to heal the body and the spirit.
Well, this goes back to saying that we're not part of nature. We're just
separating
above nature,
us from nature, but
separating us from nature.
We
and
know
that's
that.
what our
We know
society
better
does.
now, right, guys? We know better. So the liver is responsible for processing, converting, and distributing all kinds of nutritional fuel supply for the body. These vital functions get impeded if the liver is not functioning properly.
Right.
And it affects the health of every single cell. And we know that you got to heal the cell if you want to be super well.
Yeah, and the liver cannot perform any of these functions properly if its bile ducts are clogged with deposit of hardened bile or gallstones. This is interesting because most people think gallstones are in the gallbladder.
Well, gallstones are created in the liver. The gallbladder is simply a storage sac that performs a little squeeze mechanism.
So first they show up in the liver, and then
they're manufactured in the liver.
Right.
So this is why the surgery of gallbladder removal surgery is not wise.
No, because if your liver is still making it,
yeah, you're still going to make them.
And then it's going to be more impacted in the liver itself because it's got no place to store.
And you're going to have gunked up bile, and then you're going to have a deficiency in the ability to digest fats. And that's why they say that the person who loses the gallbladder can often become the angry person because the liver gets congested again. So you don't solve the problem. Folks, it's really amazing. It's much better to do the cleansing and save your gallbladder. So if you know anybody that's having signs of gallbladder pain, encourage them to get Andreas Moritz's book or work with a natural health practitioner that understands the power of cleansing.
Yeah. Bile duct congestion results in major impairment of digestive functions, thereby reducing the nutrient supply to the trillions of cells of your body. This makes gallstones in the liver a major physical and emotional problem.
That's exactly right. So what can you do? The amazing liver and gallbladder flush, and this was really made popular by Andreas Moritz, and he is a big proponent of liver gallbladder flushing, removing these stones so that the bile, think of, what is bile? Everyone says, well, what is bile? We think of bilious bile, kind of bitter. Bile is actually like a soap or detergent. You know when you're washing a dish and it's greasy?
Yeah.
You add the soap.
And,
Bile emulsifies the fats.
Okay.
Makes you be able to break them down. Instead of being a big blob of grease, they break them into little particles so you can use them. When you have good bile flow, your skin's going to be beautiful. You're going to emulsify those fats. That's where I go back to the opening comment I made. Stephen brought it up too. He says, everyone's doing bulletproof coffee and eating a lot of fats. And can we digest these? Is this, do we have the digestive fire? Well, the question comes back, do we have a healthy liver? So let's talk about this flush. Okay? The liver flush, which he's mentioned, is a straightforward, safe, and painless, easy-to-do-yourself procedure using apple juice or malic acid or apple cider vinegar, olive oil, citrus juice, and Epsom salts that will help dispel the gallstones from the liver and, of course, also from the gallbladder. It's best done on a weekend at home.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And although it's very easy to do, it's important to understand the process and follow all the directions precisely. We won't go into all the details. Simply Google the amazing liver and gallbladder flush, and you'll see that it's a very easy, inexpensive thing to do that you can buy
at your... in the newsletter coming up.
Yeah, I think that would be super, and links to Andreas's sites.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is it is actually, according to Andreas, the gallstones in the liver are the most common cause of illnesses.
Yeah.
And it's estimated that 1 billion of the world's population will develop gallstones in their gallbladder at some stage in their lives. And millions in the United States are suffering gallbladder attacks and the unfortunate decision to remove their gallbladder, their storage of their bile. Let's find out how we can avoid that. We're going to go on a short break.
Yeah, definitely. Pick up some Primal Edge while you're at it, folks, during the break, please.
That's right. We'll be right back.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're talking about loving our liver and gallbladder, and as we're going to talk about gallstones in the liver, the most common cause of illness, and the late Dr. Bob Marshall, one of my mentors, who said the liver gallbladder issue, the clogged liver and gallbladder, is the 900-pound gorilla in the room. No one's paying attention to it. And many people shun a high-fat diet or go like more the McDougall or a low-fat diet because of the concern about the liver and gallbladder's ability. But the truth is, we need to have those healthy fats, purge ourselves of the unhealthy fats we've had throughout our life that are gunking things up, and clean our liver and treasure it and treat it well. So Andreas Moritz, back to Andreas Moritz, he says during his 30 years of practicing natural medicine around the world, he's dealt with thousands of people, and he never saw anyone, without exception, he says, that had that didn't have illnesses and symptoms that also had significant amount of gallstones.
He linked it all to gallstones.
Yeah,
to,
everything.
The liver, yeah.
And he said anyone, it can be easily verified that every person suffering from heart disease, arthritis, MS, cancer, diabetes has hundreds, if not thousands, of gallstones blocking the bile ducts of the liver, interfering with the liver doing its necessary job.
Yeah, the presence of gallstones in the liver is the main impedient to acquiring and maintaining good health, youthfulness, and vitalities. Gallstones are, in fact, one of the major reasons people become ill and have difficulty recouping from disease. This is really important stuff.
So what's
that you're
going on,
talking about.
guys? Why does medicine have this most unfortunate oversight? Could it be the money? Could it be that...
Piece of the action?
The piece of the action, that's our theme of the week, right?
I
Maybe
think so.
They want to make sure they get their piece of the action, make sure we're masking symptoms or rushing to the surgical unit so we have a procedure and remove our gallbladder. Most people believe that these gallstones can be found only in the gallbladder, and I know I've harped on this, and those of you who have been listening, the gallbladder is a storage sac. It's there to store the bile, so that when you have a fatty meal coming down the chase, it performs a really cool function of squirting. It's a storage sac. It squirts.
It squirts enough so it solves the problem.
So it solves the problem. So when you move your gallbladder, you don't have that storage sac.
Right. Then you still have some of the bile coming from the liver.
The liver's producing the bile.
But on a very slow thing. It's kind of like the backup plan.
Exactly.
So if you're just working on the backup plan only, that's not a good thing.
So getting back to this oversight, this is a common false assumption that the gallstones are only found in the gallbladder. Most gallstones are actually formed in the liver, and comparatively few are occurring in the gallbladder. You can easily verify this assessment by giving yourself a liver cleanse, and in a matter of a little, it matters little whether you are a layperson, a medical doctor, or a scientist who no longer has a gallbladder and is believed to be free of gallstones altogether. The result of the liver cleanse speak for themselves. Once you see hundreds of green or beige colored gallstones floating in the toilet bowl during your first liver flush, you will intuitively know that you are onto something very important in your life.
Yeah, and I did notice that, of course, when you do a flush of any kind or...
And you were doing the coffee enemas.
I was doing the coffee enemas. That first couple of times I did notice some beige little dots in there. They weren't very large, but they were, and I always wondered what the difference was in the color. Didn't really explore much of it, but then that disappeared as I went on. So that, to me, that makes me feel pretty good right now.
Yeah, he said he was asked often, why is there very little reference in mainstream medicine to the occurrence of gallstones in the liver? And he says the failure to recognize the incidence of gallstone formation in the liver may very well be the most unfortunate oversight that has ever been made in the field of medicine, both orthodox and complementary forms. Heavy reliance on blood tests for diagnostic purposes, as seen in most medical practices, may actually be a big disadvantage. With regard to assessing liver health, most people who have had some sort of physical complaint usually have perfectly normal liver enzymes levels, despite they're sitting there suffering from serious liver congestion.
So the blood doesn't really tell you a lot.
Well, that's just a true fact on almost everything. Blood tests are kind of late to the game.
Okay.
When it's showing up in your blood, you've been suffering it for a while.
Okay, that
so
makes sense.
And that goes for many tests. Same thing for hepatitis or liver inflammation. The liver cells contain a large amount of enzymes, and when they rupture the enzymes into the blood and signal liver abnormalities.
The damage has been done by then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So unless there's a specific liver disease, such as liver cirrhosis, this organ is rarely considered a culprit for other disease. But he's saying the complete opposite, folks. The majority of gallstones in the liver and gallbladder consist of the same harmless constituents as are contained in the liquid bile, with cholesterol being the main ingredient. This makes most of them invisible to X-ray and ultrasound. Therefore, standard clinical tests are not a reliable way to detect gallstones or hardened bile in the liver. So you may not even see them. And I've heard so many people say, I went and had an ultrasound of my gallbladder and I got a lot of stones in there. Well, again, they're looking at the gallbladder. Because why? They can't take the liver out,
Right.
but they can do a procedure and remove a gallbladder, and you'll live.
Yeah.
But
In
that's
fact-
not where the problem is. The problem is the
But
stones
that's our
that are
society.
up in the liver, in the bile
That's our
ducts.
society. Everybody who nowadays, if you have an inkling of some cancer in your breast, they right away do some preventative measures. Not the type of measures we're talking about. We're talking about cutting off the breasts, and the same thing with your uterus cancer and all those things. Right away, let's just get rid of it. Let's just take out everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what's happening. And this is a nice paycheck for these, and they're relatively simple procedures in our day of medicine today. These things can be done relatively without too traumatic as far as the surgery is concerned. But what they do to the rest of your life is what we're really concerned about.
We're going to read some of Andreas Moritz's wisdom, because as a result of putting this show together, I was going through his Facebook page, and although he has transitioned, there's people that are still running his site. And it's like he said, many cancers 80% of them will resolve themselves. The body is able to resolve it. But when we go and get into all these diagnostics, many times we get into the fear. And the fear, our cells are listening.
So it's both emotional and the physical things that happen because of the operation, and your anxiety because of the operation, and your different way of thinking of yourself as now being diseased. Those things play a huge role, and this is what we're finding out.
Yeah, so getting back to his amazing liver and gallbladder flush, what are the benefits by removing the stones through a series of liver cleanses and maintaining a reasonably balanced diet and lifestyle? The liver and gallbladder will be able to restore their natural efficiency, and most symptoms of discomfort or disease in the body will quickly subside. And you'll see lessening of all kinds of symptoms, those A to Z symptoms we just went through. And there is absolutely no part of the body that doesn't benefit from the liver cleansing, because when the liver is not burdened, the body can get onto the business of rejuvenation, which is what we really want.
Yeah, by reopening the bile ducts, the body's energy circuit becomes restored, and healing can take place at all levels of mind,
Body and spirit. So we're going to continue to share more great information on how you can support your liver health, and some tips on keeping them healthy. So I think that'll be what we'll go into next time. But I do want to say that, as I mentioned, Andreas Moritz did pass away. Interesting date, October 21st, 2012. He was considered a medical intuitive and natural health healer from all over the world. And it was rather shocking in the natural health community. I remember this, and how could it be? He was so young, 58 years old, and working right up to his death, working on a book on how to explain why not to be afraid of cancer. It was just short of being released, and then he died. I'll leave it at that. We'll be back in a minute.
Right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And welcome back to the show. I wanted to point out on my newsletter, current one, the Electric Universe section has a really good article on cosmic rays being on the rise as the grand solar minimum approaches. Very important to listen and read these because the cosmic rays do have a health effect to us. So if you're flying a lot, if you're a pilot, and you go north a lot, you're getting bombarded with a lot of rays. Even in New Jersey the other day, the index was up to 18, and 8 is considered extreme.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because I have really dear friends, and he's a pilot, and he's periodically having health issues and so forth, and I've always been really suggesting to him that he try and protect himself from some of this EMF stuff. So thanks for sharing that. I want to continue with more of the information we've been talking about liver health, and I want to point something out because when we have a great teacher on this planet that's trying to help us to heal and stay healthy, it's interesting how we see so many of these people disappear at a young age, like Andreas Moritz. It's really disturbing to me.
Well, and besides that, too, it's all the negative stuff that gets written about them as these large companies don't like what he's saying because it impedes their bottom line, in a sense.
That's exactly right, and it was very untimely that he was working on a book about cancer as a healing mechanism, not something to be feared, and right before that book came out, he did die, and they finally, a lot of people for a long time, it was a great mystery, and it did come out that he had a toxic exposure to a very dangerous mold. Now that's very interesting. I wonder how that happened. But we do know that many people that that they wish are no longer, that they don't want in the picture anymore, often have, like Dr. Nick Gonzalez, had a sudden heart attack. I mean, here's a guy who takes enzymes, and I very highly doubt he's going to have a heart attack. But, poisonings, gun shootings, whatever, things are happening to these people. But real quick, before we come back to this site, there is an article. When you Google Andreas Moritz, there are these sites, I call them the science quackery. They're people who may be scientists, but I believe they are paid pundits. I think they're trolls. I think they're designed that any time, it's kind of like Steve Barrett, the Quack Watch guy. Basically, if anything's covered by him, I assume it's really good. Because he's there to discredit natural health. They're paid big bucks by the pharmaceutical, food industry, etc., or whatever industry is worried about their work. And Andreas Moritz was one that was under attack. And this, for the sake of science, basically it has that word like real true science or real clear science or the truth about science. I basically consider it a schmuck site. And they'll impress you, though. They'll impress you with their science knowledge. What they typically try to do, because I've seen them come onto Facebook, they usually try to intimidate people with their, looking down their nose at you as if they're of a different planet because they know some science, and most of their pontifications are designed to make you feel inferior. And of course, we got to follow science. Well, how's that working for us, guys? We've been following science, and we're the sickest country in the world.
Well, it's not that we're following science; is that there's a lot of misinformation about science.
So here's
science itself is fine.
And so they're still writing about Andreas Moritz, even though he's been dead for 5 years. And it says, this article says, this is an article, this is not my quote. He says, Andreas Moritz is some schmuck offering horrific medical advice about cancer. I've never heard so many wrong things about science outside the realm of creationism. So then they go in, calls him a crackpot, etc., and, really attacks his approach because we need psychiatrists, not oncologists, this guy says. So I just want you to be aware that there's always an attack when something is presented that might interfere with the medical mafia, the pharmaceutical cartel. You're going to hear negative things about it. But obviously, make your own choices. Many people believe that we have to start taking control of our health and not turning it over to, I call the mad scientists. So I want to discuss something that was in a WordPress site because it's becoming increasingly evident that we must try to heal ourselves.
Yeah.
As much as possible, Andreas Moritz and others are saying that cancer and other things are something the body's final way of telling us we must do something. So
Basil has something to say about this. He says the liver flush reminds me of what we used to do with our cars. Race it like crazy, ha ha ha. Clean out the carburetor and really excuse the speed.
Yeah. There you go. So clean out those, we have to change, in our cars, we have to change our hoses and, add some more fluids here, run some fluids out. I mean, why in the world would we think that we wouldn't have to do it to this machine?
Yeah, we do the same thing with our air conditioners at home. The first thing you do when something's wrong is you look at those filters.
Yeah. So getting back to this this blogger who said, Andreas Moritz was saying the cancer, and again, this was his topic. You should get his book, that he was really trying to release, and he, again, he left the planet right before it came out. Interesting. So he really was making a plea, and it wasn't selling, he was, get more sleep, lower your stress, get on a less toxic diet, etc. So if he's right, then maybe it's time to stop with the nonsense and get our systems back into balance. Or we could pay the price, and cancer is a heavy price. And it's a very straightforward message, he says, cancer is. It says there's no more warnings. The next stop could be fatal. So, really when we look at it, we can all still believe in science and have great faith in doctors, and we do. We love our doctors. We want them to be a part of our team.
Sure.
But we are wrong to put our health in their hands because they're not trained in health.
Right.
Doctors know nothing about health.
Right.
They're trained in medicine.
Right.
And medicine is something you use to...
Well, we've turned it into something else. We've turned it into this money stream. Same with drug companies. You're only valuable to them if you're still breathing and able to buy their overpriced products. So cancer victims are frequently subjected to the most horrible and barbaric treatments, from chemo to surgeries, treatments that work for some but can also tear down the cell structure of the body, extending their life in many cases only a few months or years. Harmful medications are prescribed routinely, despite bringing on those, all those terrible health effects, or the side effects, what they call them.
Yeah.
And there's lots of side effects to all these drugs. And, we do have a real problem in this country. We're not looking at the source of the problem. We're not looking at the body as a whole. We divide it up into little sections. If your pinky hurts, then just cut the darn thing off, or whatever you need to do so it won't happen again. That's our strategy. That's what I see.
And I think that now what this blogger is actually saying is, look, we can use these doctors to help us at certain points. Emergency medicine, they're fantastic, but for healing our bodies and rejuvenating our bodies so that we can experience a couple more turns around the sun, it's up to us. And it's up to us to take action.
Yeah, and I think if you look at it in this modern world, of course, we have this insurance, and before we had a mandate, you had to have insurance. And I think, really, if you're young right now and you're very healthy, I think insurance is not the way to go. Start investing your money in your own health and start finding out for yourself.
Health assurance with an A. Health assurance. Insure your own health assurance.
Now, if you're old and you're not in shape, then you better start getting in shape, because the medical system that we have is putting a real bad spin on this for you.
That's right. So when we come back from our break, we're going to go over some thoughts that maybe see what you think. This has kind of really resonated with me, some ideas, but here's what we've learned about our own life, so about what this means to take care of our own health. And I'd like to get your thoughts on it when we get back, so we'll see you shortly. Pick up some of our Primal Edge. That's one of the things you can do to stay healthier. Be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV. But if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Up next, 9 before 9 with John Logan on TFNN.
Welcome back to the show. We have Venus DeMarco on.
Yeah,
Let's talk to her.
That's right. Venus, are you out there?
I am.
Hi
I just
there.
turned into your show. How you guys doing?
We're
Good
doing fabulous.
morning.
Good morning. I'm trying to find you again. There you are. I'm loving your show because it's what I talk about all the time. We got to take control of our own health.
Yeah.
That's so true, and I know you're probably aware of Andreas Moritz. He was just a...
Oh, I read his stuff 8 years ago.
I just love his book. I mean, the first one, Timeless Treasures to Healing, it's just a wealth of information, and I know that you are a cancer survivor, naturally, and you worked with your body, so do you agree that a lot of what he's sharing in terms of cleaning the liver is was crucial in your part of getting well, Venus?
Oh, definitely, especially because I was such a party girl. I had a liver that really needed to be cleaned up.
Well, there you go.
But, I loved his book called Cancer is Not a Disease. It's a survival mechanism.
Yes, indeed.
That was a great, great book. And I think that we have become so fearful of cancer that we forget it might just be our body telling us, hey, stop and change your life.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And, Venus, maybe if you want to, that's exactly what I was going to get to. I was going to hit 5 points that were from his book. And as I mentioned, that, it was just in releasing that book that was right around the time of his death. And some people are very skeptical about that. But let me stay with us, because this is our last segment. And we just want to hit on these points, and maybe you can give us your comments on it, okay? He says,
Sure.
Number 1, 80% of cancers heal themselves if we leave them alone. And this was his view. He says, as soon as we're diagnosed, he says, we leap in and start fighting it with our mind and with our body and our spirit. And but here's the shocker. Fighting cancer the traditional medicine way may actually help spread it and kill you anyways. How about that?
Oh, I totally agree. I always said I was more afraid of doctors and the treatments than I was of cancer. Cancer didn't scare me. Doctors did.
Yeah, and I want to make one comment while you're there. We had a little chat in the chat room, and when somebody mentioned that they had, you can't ignore your genes, and was very grateful due to medical technology and creativity. And as I always said, I appreciate the doctors, but they're part of the team. They're a linebacker and a blocker and all those things, but you're the quarterback, and you got to take control and lead your team, lead your health. And so I wanted to say that doctors can be an important part of the team, but we have to really use our common sense. And I think that's really what we're saying. Cleansing is common sense. Number 2, cancer is often a reward. It's just not the kind of reward you like. Oh, that's interesting, he says. There are health practitioners out there, the more advanced thinking ones, who don't subscribe to cancer being a disease at all, but believe that in many cases it's a harsh reminder that you have got to change and you got to do it fast. Interesting, huh?
Oh, I totally agree.
Another thing that says here, too, and we talk about this quite a bit, conventional medicine will never find a cure for cancer. And, of course, we put billions and billions of dollars into this, but what they're trying to do is find treatments.
Yeah, treatments, they're using the words treatments, not cures, because, as we said, there's no money in finding the cure, Venus.
Oh, I write about that in my book. All the way through it, there's absolutely no money in the cure. It's not expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Well, thanks a lot for calling, Venus. We're at the end of our segment here, but we always appreciate you coming on board, and we love your products at the Homebody
Bodyhealth.com. Yeah, we appreciate it. And we'll be in touch soon. Thanks so much, Venus.
Thanks for spreading the word. Bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Yeah, those amino acids. I love those things.
Important for rebuilding.
That's for sure.
An important nutrient we need. So hope you take away today that it's time to give your liver a little lovin'. Do a little research, and we'll see you on the next show, folks.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.